Hi, these are the walls I'm going to make look like marble. The next stage of the process is going to hang on. Shall we jump into the future to see how beautiful it is in order to inspire you?
Absolutely superlative quality, one must say.
This is the normal sand and cement render so far. 4 part sand, 1 part cement with a bit of plasticizer. There was a scratch coat underneath and I've gone over it and rounded the corners here. What I've done is put some mesh, stainless steel mesh behind that because I haven't used the corner bead, rounded it over. And what I've done is bury the hot and cold pipes. There used to be an electric shower, which is more expensive to run. This will run off the central heating boiler, but in the long term, it will come off the solar thermal hot water tank. So that'll be an absolute bonus. So those pipes have got some insulation wrapped around them as they're buried in there. That's the improvement, but also this whole shell has now got exterior wall insulation, the urethane kind of board, but that starts actually about here. So the windows are actually kind of suspended on the outside on these little brackets I made, just so the thermal insulation on the wall, the outside of the solid brick wall, there's no cavity, this is 9-inch solid, exterior wall insulation, the double glazed window and the exterior wall insulation coincide without a little bridging corner that would be solid masonry, and that way you have a continuous thermal envelope. Hurrah! What I tried to do a little bit, because the next layer is going to be fine sand, silver sand, otherwise known as kiln dried sand, a bit finer. To make that key in, I tried to stipple this with a coarse brush, which did have some effect, but it turns out what I'm actually going to do on the final colour coat is use SBR primer, not PVA, that's not to be used apparently, so SBR, a layer of that to help it key in, the fine sand to key in and really take to it. Okay. We've had 2 coats of SBR primer, diluted 50-50. I've left it about a quarter of an hour because it's supposed to go tacky, but there we go. So I've got some red stuff already mixed up. Let's try a bit of the red. See how we get on. A bit of that. See where we are. Okay, let's give it a bit of a. There we go. Yep. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Smooth as that stuff. That is quite nice. Now my plan being, what I'm doing is I'm going to try and make these kind of red zones of this beautiful piece of marble, and then slowly follow it round with the green. So this is kind of defining the zones, really.
Absolutely superlative quality, one must say. Isn't that right, Ducky?
That is right, you crazy plastering coloured varnish man.
Why, thank you. Good of you to notice, sir.
And up here is important. One there. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to mix up some green now. Just to show you what the mix is. It's just sand and cement. This is very fine sand though, so let's have it up on the trowel. So 4 of these. Yeah, come on. It's fine. Yeah, we've got 4 of them. And 1 of the same old gear cement. Yeah, 1 of them. That was a bit big actually. Don't you, just out of nerves. Right then, so we've got 4 and 1. Nice and dry. And when I finish my red, I'll clean my trowel and dry it and my hawk and all that. because don't want to mix the colours up straight away. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some pigment. So this is stuff I got off the net. Let's go one big green like that. I'm going to need quite a lot more green. Let's go one big white like that. Let's just see what that brings us, shall we? Because that's not a big mix, it's not a big bucket. I might have to do that. I have to do that quite a few times. I'll just move this one so you can see what I'm doing. So you see how I make this lovely paste. Okay, that's that. And this is water, just with a spot of plasticizer in it. Let's get it nice and smooth. A bit of cream. There we go. Right, there's nothing too interesting about watching me in a bucket. But I'll get that ready for myself and then I'll be slapping it on. I'm going to turn the camera off and turn it on again because we'll change the sound because I want the radio on while I'm doing the plastering. Thank you very much. This is not easy. I think the primer was getting a bit too dry for me. Maybe not, I don't know about this too much. It was starting to peel, so I put a bit wet. What I'm going to do now is go for it with 2 trowels. 1 trowel for red, 1 trowel for green. Try and get a bit smoother. Good morning. Yesterday was quite a hard slog for me, I must admit, because I'm not a professional, so I was a bit slow. And I think I would have got a better finish if I'd been a bit quicker and caught it while wet. But never mind, because if there's any imperfections, like a little bit of roughness here and there, I will blame it on the volcano that created this huge lump of marble. So I think the effect will work. It's the, what it did, which did work out well, was the float. Stick to the same colour, don't float over all the colour, you're going to blur everything madly. So just follow the lines of it and work it, and then when it's still wet, with a lovely clean trowel, and only the one colour, give it a polish. When I got it right, absolutely gorgeous. But I have to admit, I was a bit slow, but never mind. And as you know, this is not actually the finished article, so there are some more layers of work to go on that. Perhaps we will glance at the future to get an idea of what that looks like. Okay, there's artificial light, so it might hopefully show off what the colours on these walls look like, because they are a little unusual and I think they're quite lovely, because certainly got a very mottled effect, haven't they? When the paint ran, I think I got over that, but basically if you look at it now and I look at it going, that's where the paint ran, it doesn't look great, but if you're not a painter and you're just looking at the wall, you'll probably think that's a really nice wall, because it is. Check that out, that is not a tiled bathroom, that is a wall of really quite nice effects. Ta-da! Hi, I wasn't going to film this bit because I'm just putting on a bit of the extractor fan's going, so I'm shouting because there are quite a lot of fumes. I've been using 2-pack polyurethane varnish. It's clear but with a gloss effect, and basically I wasn't going to film this bit because it's a clear varnish, but it's having quite a dramatic effect on the colour. I don't know when it dries if it's then going to go lighter or whether it's just going to stay dark. Let's show you a bit of that. It brings the colours out beautifully. So I mean, look at that. When it soaks in, it shows, like, there's a subtle change of colour there. I think this will actually make that a bit more, no, didn't do it to that one, maybe a bit there. You can't tell. So it's going to change this, it's going to change that. And one of my ideas was just to try and take the roughness out of everything with a load of coats of this. But basically this is supposed to be the uninteresting part where I just do a clear colour. Whether that dries light, see, it looks like it's wet, but it's a gloss varnish. I'm doing 4 coats of this stuff with variations on colour, so this is what I'm doing. But there you go. So if it all stays that dark, at least you'll see that when this plaster is dry, nice and light, this is what it looks like before, if you know what I mean. There we go. Okay, change of plan. I've got some pigment. This is a liquid pigment you put in, it's compatible with polyurethane. What I had before was powdered pigment, I added with the sand and cement. So my initial plan was, when I saw it, I was going to put these fissures, like great shocks in the rock, nice big expression of something or other. I was going to use the black, there's like these big veins going in the green patch. But what you do it with feathers. But I've actually only got these little feathers. So I think I was going to struggle to do that. So what I have done is I did a test sample using the little feathers, and that's quite nice, isn't it? It's kind of rivulets of less, not great big shocking veins, smaller, you know what I mean? But however, since this coat of the 2-pack polyurethane, I think that all over it would be a bit too much. So I'm going to go for a slightly more subtle black veins just in the red patches. That's my plan. So today, another whole coat of clear gloss 2-pack polyurethane, but then add some pigment to the bit left over, hopefully, and then do my black veins in the red bits. Well, hi, it is make or break maybe, because I'm going to do another colour. I'm going to do white over the top of all of this. I was a bit edgy doing the black. That did have me going, but I think it was quite subtle. I think that's going to work. But now we're going to do white over the whole thing and rag it off. Yeah, blast it and then just remove a bit by ragging off some of the white, which I'm hoping is going to give a lovely cloudy kind of, you know, ethereal glaze over the whole thing. But unfortunately, we've run out of 2-pack varnish, and that is brilliant stuff, but I've now got the cheaper 1-pack stuff I'm going to put on the top, and it might be alright, it's only a rumour, but I think 1-pack on top of 2-pack is okay, but you definitely can't put 2-pack on top of 1-pack, because that chemically reacts with itself, does kinds of weird stuff. But the cheaper 1-pack stuff can dry on top of the 2-pack. Now the 2-pack's gone off, so long as it sticks. But don't worry, because if it does peel and all fall off, it'll be on top of me when I'm in the bath, not you. So don't worry, everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to add some white pigment to a normal 1-pack polyurethane varnish, do a whitewash over the whole thing. But what I should say is that if you're doing this yourself, do be careful of the fumes, open a lot of windows, all that kind of stuff, possibly even wear a mask. I'm going to have the extractor fan out because it is toxic, hazardous chemical fumes. Be careful of all the high VOC solvent based varnishes, which is what I'm using, because I want this tough. So, action, thank you.
And is right, you crazy plastering coloured varnish man.
Why, thank you. Good of you to notice, sir. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. Butler, more red wine, please.
Oh, it's gone on well. I didn't put too much pigment in. When you squirt that pigment in, it's mighty strong. So I've got the fan going, so I'm shouting. If you squirt it in too much, it will really, the pigment is strong for the whole tin of the varnish. It's gone on quite well. I was getting these runs, which you can probably see where there's more pigment showing. So you've got like these funny streaks of a bit more white. The white looks lovely though, it really is setting off the darkness. But so what I was doing, I kept going back on myself and just trying to brush through them, if you know what I mean. So because they look like runs, they look awful. So try and brush them just so then they go. But it turns to me now, because I was going to give up on rag, but what I might now do is see if I can just rag over the runs, and then we'll get a nice blotchy effect just from where it's naturally gone. Should we give that a go? Let's see what that's like, because it's kind of drying, so I could either run over the whole thing and keep trying to flatten it out, or just randomise it with a bit of that. And this stuff dries in 6 hours, so today, because I can't really, I could actually get a second coat on, and then I'm near as done maybe. Right, that was a bit harsh. So let's get a dry brush and see if we can't just, don't know. Make it up as you go along and just pretend you're an expert. That's the way to get by, isn't it? So what I'm doing now is living on hope with only one day to go because I'm back to work tomorrow, so I'm doing whatever I can. Which I wish it was dark actually, so I could actually see just from the artificial light what I'm actually doing a bit better. The daylight throws me off a bit. Yeah, it's a bit harsh that. It's a bit harsh. I liked one bit, but then it went a bit harsh. Let's try and do it a bit more carefully. Just soften the zone. Okay, now that seemed alright. Just go in a slightly more, less patterned effect. Okay, I'll record another hour of me doing this.